Dear Diary, today I'm going to tell you a story, one of my zillion umpteen stories about my experiences with the police. Remember, to put this into context, I always wanted to be a police officer. In fact, I am a police officer. Every day I police scumbags, shitheads, morons, and their ilk. I'm going to talk in an accent because I really can't stand my own speaking voice. I like my singing voice, not my speaking voice. Capiche? Capuche. This is a story that takes us back to 1995? 98? I don't remember exactly what year. You can look it up. And I was riding my bicycle one day up Avenue A in the East Village of Manhattan, and always on the southwest corner of the park, Tompkins Square Park, there would be a police car usually hanging out there. And so a second police car would always come and they'd shoot the shit and block traffic. One day I'm riding by on my bicycle and I see this and I'm very annoyed, very, very annoyed. I don't like when people treat other people badly. I don't give a shit who you are, friend or ally, enemy or maggot. I stand up to bad behavior. I don't care who's doing the bad behavior, and I don't care who they're doing it to. Hypocrisy is wrong. Not doing unto others is wrong. Okay, so cut the shit, people. And so I'm driving by, and I see that there's two police cars side by side, and I'm watching this going, well, as I'm riding by, I'm like, what a bunch of fucking assholes. Look at that line of cars behind them. And then I notice the light changes to green, and all the cars, like 6 cars behind this police officer, there's one who's double parked, do you understand? And 7th Street's not that wide there, so nobody could get through the green light because this cop was shooting the shit with his fellow cop in a second car. I stop and I watch this and I'm like, this can't be happening. I mean, I know cops are evil. I know cops are bad. I know their job is to abuse their authority, which is a felony. I understand that completely. And but I stopped and I watched this and I said, well, surely he's going to move now that the light's green. He's not going to fuck all these people over, is he? I mean, cops aren't that arrogant, are they? Well, you know the answer to that. Of course, he was a cop. He didn't give a shit about anybody but himself. And so what happened was he just stayed there. One driver way back honked their horn once and then realized, oh fuck, I'm honking my horn at a cop. I'm fucking my horn at a fucking neo-Nazi. Oops. With a gun who has a license to shoot me. Oops. Or give me any tickets. Oops. And so nobody has the courage to stand up to bullies. No one except for me, Captain Cranium. Captain Crusader. Commander Crusader. And so I was there watching on my bike, flabbergasted, and after like 10 seconds or whatever, outrageous, I finally put my hands up in the air and I make a huge scene. And I'm like, are you seriously not going to pull over and let them go through the green light? Now I know, and most people would tell you what would happen when you stand up to a police officer. Now even though the police officer didn't pull me over or anything, I was minding my own business. And then I saw him fucking over others, and I spoke up. If everyone did this, there'd be no problems in the world, right? If me and 50 other people surrounded the police car, he'd be like, sorry, I'm going to move. He's not going to try and arrest 50 of us. Cops are cowards. They're the biggest cowards there are. That's why they need a vest, they need a weapon, and they need a posse of 30,000 people, because they're cowards. That's why they became police officers. And, but most people keep their mouths shut and are cowards. So I made a huge scene, and I'm like pointing to the cop. It's like, come on. So he yells out at me something like, what did you say? And his partner in the same police car, who's older and more mature apparently, a couple times said like, no, just chill out. But the cop driving gets out, Goomba. He gets out of the car and comes at me. What did you say? Like he's ready to smash my head in. So I'm on a bicycle, though. I pull away because I know I can't trust this asshole. I drive away, get far enough away from him physically. But then he keeps saying stupid shit. Stupid shit. Like, why don't you come over here and say that? Yeah, why don't you come over here and do that? And as I'm driving away, I'm like, I can't believe how fucking assholish and stupid this fucking jerk-off is. He's worse than the average cop. Wow. And so I turn around and go back to him because I'm like, I gotta confront this asshole in front of all these people. And there were a lot of passersby walking and watching. I pull over, and again, his partner said things like, get back in the car, Tony. But Tony didn't want to. Tony wanted to get a little revenge against his employer. So anyhow, I started riding back, and he's walking towards me. Now, both police cars surround me. So one, my plan did work. Everyone got to go through the green light because the two police cars were gone. They had turned onto Avenue A. And so I had already saved the day. But now these cops are harassing me, and a lot of passersby on the sidewalk are like, what? You guys got no real criminals to go after? And one cop's like, show me ID. I'm like, I didn't break any laws. I don't have to show you ID. And she's like, show me your ID. Said a female cop in the other car. And I said, I didn't break any laws. She's like, yeah, you did. You went the wrong way down the street. It's like, what are you talking about? Avenue A is two-way, first of all, you dumb cunt. I didn't say she was a dumb cunt. But it was retarded, and they both harassed me. Then they put my bike they arrested me. Well, they cuffed me. Everyone's like, what did you do? I'm like, what do you think I did, ladies and gentlemen? I criticized Goliaths. And I always make a huge scene when I get arrested, usually. I don't remember a lot of the actual quotes, sorry. But I made a huge scene, and so did other people. And this story's not very long. The cop jailed me, threw me over here at the 9th Precinct. 9th Precinct, infamous on 5th Street, is one of the most corrupt precincts in one of the most corrupt cities on earth. We've had all kinds of police scandals there. Obviously, you can't find a precinct in New York City where there hasn't been record scandals. But this one, especially, that's where we just had the rape cops, too, Moreno and Mato. I've had plenty of dealings with the 9th Precinct. They're dirty as can get. Now this is really bad, though. The cop arrests me, puts me in a cell in the precinct, this Goomba cop, and he goes through my bag. And he's going through my bag, like on the desk in front of me in the cell. And he's like, where's your ID? And I said, and he's going through all the other pockets. I'm like, no, I told you it's in the front pocket. He's going through all my other pockets looking for shit to steal. Because he's a cop. They're the #1 criminals on earth. I mean, journalists. I'm not talking about journalists and prosecutors. I mean, like regular street thugs. I've never met a criminal, and I've been stabbed almost to death, etc. I've never met a criminal who compares to a police officer as far as criminal minds. Just evil. And he goes through my bag, stole $40, needless to say. And then he kept me in the cell for like 5 hours. He didn't even arrest me. He just finally wrote me up a ticket for no reflector on my bike and a ticket for going the wrong way down or whatever. I don't know. Now, and then he finally lets me out. He stole my $40. He lets me out 5 hours later with a couple tickets. Okay? But wait, there's more. I then expose what a fucking slime bag he is. Oh, a few days later, there's an article in the newspaper about a cop who was off duty in his car. And he had heard on the radio or something like they were chasing a car of a criminal. And so this off-duty cop goes out of his way. And this off-duty cop goes... This is a news story. 2 days later. He finds out where they're coming near him. They're chasing a car. He pulls his off-duty car, his own personal car, while he's off duty, into traffic to block the exit of this criminal who they're supposedly chasing in a car. The guy being chased slams his car directly into the off-duty car and kills the off-duty cop. Wow. So that was a gutsy thing for that cop to do. He died. He died to stop a guy. Maybe the guy was charged with something serious. More likely he wasn't. And the police just love to chase people because it's boys with toys, right? We said, let's give 20-year-old males the right to speed, run red lights, everything else like that. I'm sure it's going to work out. I can't imagine why a 20-year-old would speed when he doesn't need to, right? And so what happened next? Oh, that cop died. So I cut that piece. I cut the little article about it out and taped it to a postcard and mailed that postcard to the precinct to this particular cop who'd given me tickets for asking him to move out of the way of people waiting at a green light. Okay? This cop was an extra duty scumbag. He was a scumbag of scumbags who would give me tickets and rob me in the precinct. I don't remember his name right now. You can look it up. So I mailed this postcard to him to humiliate him in front of his peers and stuff, because postcards anyone can read. The mailman, everyone can read a postcard. It's a public forum the way I use it. And I said, this is a real cop. This guy risked his life and died to stop a criminal, while you go after people for doing the right thing and steal from them and write tickets and stuff, la-da-da-da-da. Well, that's exactly... Oh, he didn't take kindly to that. I was arrested a few days later for harassing a policeman. Now, it didn't match any level of harassment, but it doesn't matter. Cops or criminals can do whatever they want. I was thrown in jail for like a day, and they claimed, the DA's office, who are crooks, in the original complaint, claimed that I had said things like, I had talked about cops dying. And that's one of the ways they spin it. I had a postcard. Here was a cop who had died because he did the right thing, or was trying to do the right thing, or whatever. They spun that into, I sent a postcard talking about dead cops or dying cops, because that makes it sound like, oh, am I threatening to kill this cop? You see how they can twist anything they want. I'm writing about a brave cop who died because he risked his life. They spin it to, I'm talking about dead cops, trying to make it sound like I'm threatening this piece of shit cop. To my surprise, the DA's office did drop it a few weeks later, without anybody's prompting them. They just realized, they said, this is garbage, and they did DP, declined to prosecute. That shit is outrageous. The cop, of course, got away with stealing my money, got away with everything else. I think I was interviewed by Internal Affairs. I can't remember, this was so many cases ago. But, of course, that wouldn't mean anything. Internal Affairs is fucking garbage and a placebo. Oh shit, I gotta get ready. So that's another story about one of my... Oh, and then this is even worse. I went to fight the tickets, the 2 traffic tickets. The criminal complaint was dumped, but I still had these 2 traffic tickets. I went to the court to fight them, the traffic court, and the judge didn't listen to anything I said, didn't care about the fact that the rules backed me up, that I was technically true. I didn't have a reflector, I think. That was technically true. But it was retaliatory. I didn't go the wrong way down the street, though. But it didn't matter. The job of the cops is to raise revenue. Remember, the judges, they're going to get a paycheck the more people they find guilty. So the whole system is corrupt. It's corrupt. It's corrupt. It's corrupt. It's corrupt. And remember, every judge says you have the right to murder judges. Remember that. You have a right to... In fact, you have a right to murder a judge who's never done anything to you before. It's called preemptive strikes. It was the legal logic of Iraq. Remember that. Your enemies, the government, the politicians, the news media, the journalists, all of them said the same thing. The judges all said the same thing. You have a right to kill your enemy, even if your enemy has done nothing to you, on the belief, and we've even said it was a mistaken belief. So, but no one's saying there should be accountability, right? All sides are saying Bush and Cheney should be allowed to get away with this. All the news media, all of the politicians. Barack Obama said we should just move on. Let's forget this ever happened. Let's move on. And I say, well, so your argument, though, is everyone's argument in the establishment is, even if you prove to have been completely wrong about your assumption that this judge or this reporter was going to hurt you, you still have a right to fucking blow them away. You can murder any judge you want tomorrow, even if it is a mistaken belief that judge is going to do damage or hurt you, or hurt your nation, or hurt your society. Okay? You can murder anybody in the Supreme Court, said the Supreme Court. Remember, this is not my argument. This is their argument. I believe in due process, but I'm not like the elite. I'm not like the politicians. I'm not like the journalists. I believe in due process. They say due process should not exist. You have a right to murder your enemies, even if your enemy has done nothing to you, simply because they may someday, maybe, do something to you. That was the entire legal argument of the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan. Never forget that, please, and spread the word. Because there's a civil war brewing, and I want you to know your rights, kids. And then what happened? Oh, even more obnoxious. So I get in the cruiser. They take me in the cruiser, 4 cops to the precinct. and to process me for a full arrest. And in the car, they have the nerve to listen to rock radio, and they're listening to fucking some Rage Against the Machine song called Freedom or something. It's like, wow. Who coined the phrase or term hyper irony 20 years ago? Oh, right, me. I think I even pointed it out to them, the cops. It's like, you guys don't have any problem listening to this song? It's about how the government can't be fucking trusted. You guys are all banging your heads to it. Fucked up world. Is there anything else I'd like to say about this tragic story? Oh, there was never any charges were dropped. I never sued because suing the government is much harder than you think. They want you to think it's easy to undermine all the people who fight back and win. Okay, so please, please, please spread the word, because journalists are shit. The cop got away with everything. Actually, oh no, that's a different case I'm thinking of. I was going to say, one time I met this cop who fucked me up, physically beat me up. He got brain cancer. That was funny. First cop who ever arrested me, got thrown off the force 5 years later for sexually harassing women. Unrelated to me. It's like, wow, I wonder, maybe there is some merit to what I say, you fucking assholes. Special shout out to John Lowinger. He's a police reporter at the Daily News who fucking sold every one of us out to fucking suck Ray Kelly's dick. John Lowinger, you should be put in a fucking concentration camp. But again, all reporters are scum, and they are the top scum with their kid brothers prosecutors.